Hey there. I haven't made a video in a little while. Let me get in the right position. Yeah, my name is Brian. I like to introduce myself every time I try to remember to make a video. Let people, because there might be new viewers. I make content on my 2019 rear wheel drive signature edition Q50S. Yeah, so a lot to say. So I'm going to revisit something today that I made a previous video on, and I just wanted to touch back on this, and I'll go into more detail here in a second. Also just want to say, I'm in the process of trying to, I'm kind of in a holding pattern with the car, because my next obvious upgrade has got to be tires. So until I get tires, it's kind of hard to make content, worthy content, because it's at the point where it's not good as far as traction. It sounds like I'm putting someone in the ground, bless their soul, never to see them again. But it's just the tires. So I got to work on the situation of some new rims in the back, or wheels in the back with new tires. And there's just a lot of different choices, drag wheel, if I'm going to go a 10-inch wheel, or stay with an 8.5 or a 9, and go and keep that at the 19-inch wheel that's like on the car now. Or if I'm going to drop down to I have the small brakes, and so if I need to drop down to the 15-inch wheel so I can get more sidewall. But yeah, that's a game changer, because that's going to be a serious tire, and I have the stock drive shaft and all the stock components, driving that. So I'm just putting a lot of thought into this. I'm not jumping into it. So and then I'm waiting for a specific tire, the Nitto 555R NT 555R2 to come out. I'm really interested in that tire. And it's going to be where I can put that on my 19-inch wheels and leave that on there. But it's 100 compound, the rating of the softness of the tire. And so, but it has, it looks like it's going to be a decent rain tire too, or predominantly not a rain tire, but if I got caught in the rain, then it would be a good tire. So yeah, so I just want to explain that. And future videos are coming, and I'm real excited to do that stuff. But money's just an issue too right now. I just don't want to be dumping a lot of money into certain things, and work's slowly picking back up, but I'm not being paid right away. So yeah, so all kinds of stuff. But let me get to the content of what this video is really about, and then we'll move on here in just a second. I'll show you. Okay, like I said, I already made a video on this, but I didn't go into the full detail that I'm doing this time around. Okay, this is for the Q50 or Q60, or I guess any of the Infiniti cars that you want to do this, but this has to do with the front emblem. I want to make sure I don't step in front of all my light that I have here. So this is the front emblem off. I already painted my emblem, but I left it on this back plate that mounts to the grill. So and I obviously had to tape all the black portion off, because this is like a plastic, but kind of a polished black plastic, and I like it. I don't want to just paint it all one monotone color. So I taped it off, the parts that were black, and obviously this inner part was the emblem that matches the emblem. So I did a lot of that preparation. It was not so easy. It took a lot of time. But I just didn't get exactly precise to some of the very, very edges of the emblem. And that was one point that I wasn't necessarily 100% happy on. It looked good, but then also too, I kind of jumped in the gun and just painted that, and I didn't do a lot of prep like I know how to do. So I took a pretty good rock chip right there pretty easily, and it went straight down to the chrome. This one was chrome, My piece was very highly reflective, like a chrome finish, even though it's plastic. It has a plating on it of chrome, kind of similar to my airbrush here. So it's very, very reflective. So I wanted to paint mine for that purpose, to make it match more of my grill. So, okay, so this time around, I did things a little different. I'm taking it a little bit more serious here. So here I'm going to tell you real quick what I did. Okay, so to separate this, you know, when this unit or piece comes off the car, it looks like a pretty solid unit. You wouldn't think that it would come apart, but I knew it probably did. So what you can do is once you have this piece off, you have to put this in your oven. I found out. I tried to look at all different ways, but you'll tear it up trying to pry it off while it's you know, not heated up and softened up. So under here, you will see that they had a bunch of double-side sticky tape, you know, very similar to this 3M, but it was gray. This is what you'll need to replace that and put this on here. And I think it's, you know, $7 or $8. It's not super inexpensive, but at Lowe's or Home Depot, you can get that. 3M Extreme Mounting Tape is what it says that is. So you separate your piece in here. You know, this is the back. Make sure I have it in the video. So what you have to do is you have to come in and you have to, there's two holes here, right here and right here. You have to come in with a drill bit, the proper size drill bit. You don't want to, you want to keep within the confines of that hole, I mean the plastic area, and they're going to drill in. And so then what that does is that drills into these this just double secures if that tape fails, that this doesn't fall off on the street. So you're drilling out these, you know, little extension plastic pieces there that rivet in, I guess, into here. And so you're drilling those out. But then once you drill those out, it doesn't come off. It will not come off unless you heat it up. So put it in your oven. I just put a metal baking plate in there, and I put it on the lowest setting. I think it was 125 degrees, and I did it for like 10 minutes. And you don't want to do it for much longer, I don't think, so you don't want to melt anything or damage anything. So you want to get it hot to touch, but not scalding, melting hot. So after you do that, then you take it out of the oven, and then what you'll do is you'll take the back of the drill bit or a wood piece. I have one here. I thought I did. Actually, I don't. I have like a chopstick that I converted into a tool. So you take the piece that fits in there, and then you'll push it off, and then you'll put that onto your knee, and you'll push down so you can get your fingers under there and grab up. And so when it's hot, it's actually going to come off. So you can pull it off, and it'll release that tape. So, and then you have to clean all that tape off. Because it'll be pieces left, and then there'll be pieces left on the inside here. So now we're past that phase. What you want to do, now you've got this piece here, you'll want to lightly sand it. Very, very fine sanding. I just used a Scott Brite pad for the sink, for heavy duty dishes and things. Roughen that up, and then let me see here, I'm losing my track of my thoughts. So roughen that up, and then I used like I did last time, I was an airbrush illustrator in college, so I have a bunch of different air guns, and this is one of my Iwata Eclipse HPBC air guns airbrush guns that I used, and I used, because of the selection, I used model paint, and I went enamel. So enamel this time, so it's like your teeth, it's going to be really hard and durable. And so they have, like 90 different colors or 120 different colors that you can choose from. So that gave me the flexibility of matching the color that I wanted. And so then basically I sprayed this, and this time around, and you're probably not likely to see this, but I did a two-tone. I did a lighter gray up here, like a battleship gray, and then a darker gun metal gray, and then I frosted it right across this area so it's a little bit darker, just a little bit darker. See if you can see that, but it's apparent to my eye. So, and then that just kind of adds, you know, my own touch to it. And so now I was able to get all the way to the edges, and I was able to, you know, do a really good job with it being off this black piece here, and I didn't have to tape, you know, the portions off that I didn't want the paint to touch. So, and here's one thing that I've upgraded to. I've got a professional auto grade wax grease remover that I spray that off to get the grease off my fingers and any contaminants that are on there. So every time I paint it or I touch it and I have to clean it again, I use this one choice. Or you may have something, but this was really expensive. I think it was like $18 or $19. But I needed it for something else, so I have it now so I can clean painting surfaces. And then the model paint, the tester model paint, enamel, and then I went to Home Depot and bought the automotive enamel gloss. So I think that's, you know, they have all kinds of different gloss clears that you can do, but obviously this hopefully is an upgraded version of gloss for a car out in the elements and for durability. So, and then between painting, I have steel wool here, a new pad of steel wool, and I can lightly sand that down. And I did that, so I'm going to put my final couple of clear coats on here after I just sanded it, and then I'm going to put my last couple of coats on real lightly over, you know, one time, real light, like only a couple passes, and then let it dry for 20 minutes and then come back a couple of passes real light, because it will run and it'll ruin your project. So yeah, so I think I got everything here, covered my airbrush, the components, the steel wool, the clear coat, the wax and grease and contaminant remover. And then also too, while you have this off, you can go in and clean this up, and you can use a wax to polish it to get it, make sure it's back to its close to pristine piano black polished look. I need to do a little bit more on mine, but basically put the tape back on, as you know, to cover as much area as you can and not have it overlapping, hanging out, and then put that back on, and then that will grab to the tape. And then what I'm thinking of doing is, once it's on and the tape and I have it all ready to go, I'm gonna put it down on a soft towel, and I'm gonna try to put some weight on the back, and then set that in the sun and let that pressure make sure that's sealed or stuck on there really, really well, so when I'm driving down the highway, that doesn't come off and I lose my project or my work and then have to go buy a new one of these. And who knows how much those cost. I'm probably, you know, $50 to $80. So hopefully that helps. I did it before and it looked good, but this way it's going to be much better. It's going to be more precision. It's going to be more to my liking. And then I added that fade, you know, light gray to a little bit darker gray. And so I think I'm going to like this a lot better. So I just thought while I was doing it, I would pass this video along. Maybe someone else is anal like me and wants to do this and not just take this off and spray the whole thing down and, you know, not spend any time on it. So I did want to spend a lot of time. So this is what I did. And so, you know, this does come off. I mean, I sat there for weeks thinking that piece was not going to be able to come off until I finally troubleshot that and stuck it in the oven to just give it a try, drilled those out beforehand, and then I saw by sticking that piece through the back and putting a lot of pressure on it that it raised up and I could get my fingers under there, and then I realized that it could come off and it would become two pieces. So yeah, so if you like my content, like I always say, you know, like and subscribe. I'm trying to stay up and make content on this car. It's enjoyable, and I want to pass helpful things on to everyone else. So again, thanks for tuning in and have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.